And we are back. We get a mic check at the gate. And a much love. A good evening, everybody out there. Welcome to another Underground World News Live. Here on this December 16th, 2024. LB Rules coming through with the coffees right at the gate. Much love. Thank you for that. I appreciate all the support. It is the best way to support the channel. Thank you for the feedback. Quantum, Deanne. Good to see everybody out there. Warlock. Who cares? Mark, Jim, Dave, Yellow Dog, Gabe. Good to see everybody. Hope you're doing well. Christ is King. Southern Chef. Yeah, always a lot going on these days. We're never short on things to discuss. And the things we do have to discuss tonight, we've got a lot of detail tied into it. So I'm going to start off with some coverage here on the shooting and lighter end type stuff, as I put it. Although the shooting isn't. Doug, thank you for gifting all those memberships. Welcome to the underground, everyone. And I'll work my way through some of the lighter stuff, and then we're going to dive into everything with the drones, world stage, and all that. Good to see everybody. Tacos, Hoodie Ross. Hope everyone's doing good. So, if you're not following me over on X, it used to be Twitter, you probably should. It's where all the breaking news is happening. If you want to keep up to speed with things, what's popping off during the day, something just happened like the shooting that happened today, you can get the breaking details right there. I may not put a video out on everything, so Twitter's the place to catch all that news for breaking stuff. At least as this headline says here, in this shooting that took place, it's a Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin. They say 4 people killed. They updated that and said 3 people and 6 injured at the Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin. They say the suspected shooter, a juvenile believed to be a student, is also dead. Play a clip here so you can see what they're saying about it.
Once again, that is Chief Barnes talking about this school shooting at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin. He called it an ever-evolving situation, and we're actually learning the numbers were literally changing as he was speaking. So now officers are saying 4 people killed plus the shooter, so 5 total. We know the shooter was a juvenile. 5 other people injured and transported to local hospitals. Aaron, I know you've been talking to some of your sources as well. What else are we learning about how this played out?
Well, it's important. The chief confirmed, Chief Barnes did, with that the police officers who responded to the scene did not fire a shot. So that leads us to believe the shooter took his or her own life. And the chief would not confirm whether it was a male or female juvenile, but that juvenile was able to get a gun inside the building, open fire. It appears that there are 5 people that suffered gunshot wounds that have been transported to area hospitals. And you heard the chief say they are now going on a tertiary screening for the 3rd time, going through the school and vehicles on the parking lot with bomb dogs just to make sure there's no additional threat. But they seemed to know right away that they had this contained as soon as the officers encountered the dead juvenile on the ground inside the building. They felt comfortable then bringing EMTs with responding officers inside to give people medical attention right away if they needed it.
And at this point, again, they felt confident to be able to tell people in the community there does not appear to be any other threat in the area.
There doesn't appear.
Rest in peace to any of the souls lost in this event. Shout-outs to Jay Reacher on information sent to me earlier. I have to note that how convenient, though, for the plus, to help anyone that was bleeding, that there was emergency responders training. They right around the corner. And right after the shooting, rather quickly, for old slow Joe Biden that's nowhere to be seen, this was a rather quick thing to throw out there. He definitely didn't do it himself. Think it up, type it up, all that. But he's calling for gun control. So go figure. They wasted no time, and they showed images of the shooter. She was it's a female that was dressed like tomboyish. Somebody put out an image earlier saying that all these shooters were transgenders, and I don't know if that's true or not, but and thank you, Mark D, for the coffee. I do know that at least some of them have been, but it's just unfortunate. It was crazy because during the Trump administration, the last time, we didn't see the high level of shooting events that we saw before that and then after. So I'm hoping they kind of go away when Trump gets back in there. It just wasn't that agenda wasn't being pushed in mass like that, like every couple of days, shooting or something. Because we've been through it. They've done them back to back to back before. All right, let's go to this bird flu update. We have a confirmation that this bird flu, this highly pathogenic strain that they're warning about, has surfaced in Alabama. So, a heads up here. I've been watching to see where it's going to rear its head and pop up. So here we go. More than 100,000 birds, nearly all of them chickens, have been killed. So a mass culling, if you will, coming out of Coleman County. So this is going to put a huge dent into the supply coming out of that region. And these sites have been quarantined. So it shuts them down effectively. And you're talking chickens, other fowl, ducks, turkeys. They were all wiped out. They tried to prevent this. So I was telling you about this before. The cat's out of the bag. I kind of feel that this is getting swept under the rug or not talked about enough because at any time they can play the card. It was just last week. They were saying that milk was contaminated with all this stuff. And, all they got to do is drum up the mainstream shilling of whatever it is and push it. So, we still got more than 30 days to go before Trump is sworn in and things really shift. All these agencies see new faces and agendas can really get switched up. That doesn't happen large scale all too often. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here in this transition. They say that in this situation in Alabama, think about this. If your neighbor gets a visit and they have to wipe out all their chickens, guess what? This is all poultry within 6.2 mile radius of the broiler farm is being tested and monitored. So this is big. They're now spreading out, and this 6.2 mile radius could turn into a 10 mile radius real quick. Who's to say? I mean, just the very next place they go, they set up shop or they expand it at any time. What's disturbing here is there is an over 6 mile radius from this farm that is basically under quarantine. So just imagine if they come in and they hit your neighbor down the road. They're going to be looking at every single property going down the road. Do you understand that? They're going to be looking at every single one. Look who lives here, who's here, who's here. They're going to be trying to pull in every road, every driveway, and they're going to try to check it. They're going to be checking satellite feed stuff. They're going to be doing everything. I'm telling you, so what are people going to do? You going to let them come in and wipe out your chickens? You know, the sad thing is they come in, they test one or two birds. A lot of times these people don't even get proof. They just show up at the door like, look, we just tested it out here in the field, and you know, they're contaminated. So you got to kill them all. It just doesn't even seem right and sound right. Walk in somewhere and somebody's got an infection. Oh, kill them all. Just kill them all. Just, what? Like, don't even. It's not even worth trying to test all of them. Try to save some. Nope. Kill them all. Kill them all. Kill them all. And that's exactly what they do. They go in and they obliterate these farms. The production coming out of these areas. And I feel it's targeted, man. I feel like they're targeting people like this. Well-known farms, just like this one. It was known in Pickens County, this farm and what they produced, and they targeted it. So I feel for anyone out there that gets caught up in the crosshairs. I'm going to be asking questions about these agencies as soon as old RFK gets up in here. They should be doing some major changing and gutting and changing all this up. You shouldn't be approaching farmers like this. It's like a setup. It needs to be talked about. For real. Because the next big agenda can be pushed at any time. All right, let's get a space update real quick. If you guys don't know, we've got the ISS that's supposed to come down out of space. That is like a dual operation. It's the U.S. and Russia together. Well, that thing's supposed to come down at some point. They say that Elon Musk and company got the contract to bring it down. But China is taking over everything. And this is just up in subspace. We're all just beyond, the ring there and around where all the satellites are and all that. This isn't past the Van Allen belts or anything like that. It's just right up there where you can just float around the planet. The Van Allen belts, they go pretty far out in the middle. They don't go too far out, expanding off the tops of the planet, but this is why I feel, launch in the middle of the planet or down closer to the equator often. But we're lied to about all this crap. All I'm saying is China is looking to build something, the largest human-made object in space. Whatever that's really going to be, some kind of second sun, as they've talked about before, all this other crap, who knows? And theoretically, they get up there and they roll out a satellite that's just a big mirror that can reflect. They can do that. The second sun is alive at that point, however they want to call it, whatever they want to call it. And it can also be used as a weapon. They say that they can use it to make, like on the dark side of the planet, when it's nighttime, they can light up a city to where the city has daylight all day long. And it's like, okay, but if it's fine-tuned, you can fry anything. A major weapon. So, if something was to happen, it malfunctioned, or this and that, it could literally light cities on fire. Space-based weaponry, a real threat, because we're lied to again about all this stuff, but subspace is real. Where all the satellites and the ISS and all that, there's no reason we can't get there. The firmament and the belts aren't till way further out. So you've got that little bit of space that we know that they can work with. But I want to get a weather balloon up there with a bunch of cameras on it, live stream it, and put a lot of things to rest. We're going to answer some things one way or another. We do it. Let's take a look here. Skipping that one there. Want to look at the oil copper comparison. Talked about precious metals before. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but when copper goes up That's when like the thievery goes up. These guys are jacking copper all over the place, like anywhere you can get it. Water lines and abandoned houses, and they'll leave them flooding. I've seen it myself. Um, I was talking about how when the last storm system came through, the hurricane, they were cutting down telephone lines in the storm because they knew the power was out, and they were cutting the wire and getting all the wire. So these cats are getting pretty. They ain't messing around. Like they said, screw going to the house. Like the power's down, the power's out. They're literally clipping both ends of the line and then just taking off with it. They'll strip it down somewhere else, and they're gonna get all the metal. A lot of copper in those telephone lines is what they're finding, and scrapyard, you can take all that stuff and they'll pay you. Some places don't ask a lot of questions. They just take it and they scrap it. That's the nature of it. Some places do log items, keep track. They see something suspicious. I'm telling you, man, as soon as gold gets another leg up and all the other precious metals catch up, copper, silver, which is yet to make a move, when it does, I think you're gonna see a lot of this thievery hitting a whole new level. Because copper is going to be needed in all of the new technology going forward. They're forecasting this from 2020 to 2040. The world is going to be moving away from oil-based products and consumption. And just by the comparison of where we're going, copper is going to start to take over in a lot of these applications. Norway, considering nationalizing the power grid. They're limiting exports. So what this means is, just like other parts of Europe, they're realizing something's not good here. Like, the cost of energy is going through the roof. If you've got it, you might as well hold on to it. Instead of exporting it for cheaper and then having to turn around and buy it from someone else, like Russia, for higher. They're just holding on to what they got. Now, I want to remind you that Joe Biden depleted our strategic reserves. We have a couple different reserves. He completely wiped out one and was working on trying to wipe out another. I don't know how far he got on it, but Trump's trying to say that when he comes in, my volume's low. Did it just go low? I don't understand. Did it just go low? Because I got 5x5s. Now I'm still getting 5x5s. Bro, the volume is perfect for me. So waiting to get a little bit more feedback here. Okay. 5x5s, 5x5s, low. 5x5s. Well, if it's been low, then why do people give me a 5x5 in the beginning of the stream? That's why I asked for a mic check at the beginning of the stream. If it's been low this whole time, why didn't somebody tell me? Multiple people saying that. I don't get it. I take the time to do a mic check at the beginning of the stream. So I'm going to turn it up here a little bit. People saying it's good now, and I didn't even do nothing yet. I just now did something. So I don't know. I try to get it straightened at the beginning of the stream. Lisa says it's very low. I see a bunch of it's fines now. They lying, and that says, audio trolls. Now, some of them is my mods. Everybody's got different setups, so no, I try to get it checked at the beginning. Everybody's saying it's fine now. Sound is good. All right. He's trolling me. I don't think so. That's my mom. I think he's trolling me. Thank you. All right, so we're clear. I'm going to keep it pushing. Uh, see here. I think that this is key. I say this all the time. If we could push our natural gas and our coal, we would make a lot of money as states, just as property owners, just as Americans. But they've stopped us from doing this. With coal, large scale. But really, natural gas is all over the place. It's all under this country. If you have, somebody told me that deals with this, that if they were to go on a piece of property and find a coal seam or decent amount of coal, chances are there's natural gas on that same property, because they almost come hand in hand in most places. This is somebody that goes and looks for it and finds it and all that. So it was interesting because I was asking about property around me, and they were like, yeah, like any place that you're going to find decent coal seams, there's a good chance to find natural gas as well. So just keep that in mind. If you can tie in the natural gas, man, hook it up to a gasifier, you would never need nothing. It would be a constant streaming source of energy. It would power your home, your generators to keep your house going constantly. Gasifiers are a real deal. They burn coal, they burn wood, and they turn it into a gas, like a liquid propane, a thick type of gas that you can put into your generators. You can just stick it right in there, and it will combust it. It will burn it, and it will run it and power all your stuff. It's pretty crazy technology, but it's pretty awesome. Like I said, if you put a tap on natural gas on your property and you just got endless gas, you've got free energy and power these days. Do you ever think about it like that? So if you can find a piece of property that has natural gas and you can tap into it and hook it up to a gasifier and all that, you're set. Your solar could just be a little backup. But yeah. Check this out. When it comes to jobs, we've been wrecked all over the place. Ever since the lockdowns and the scam, they wrecked us. A lot of big jobs going out of business. The numbers we got in showing where all the new jobs went to a majority of immigrants and illegal immigrants over natural-born citizens, overwhelmingly. But we come to find out now that in Q2, in quarter two, the numbers that the Biden administration put out were nothing short of a pure lie. Every bit of it. Yeah. Yep. So, I guess that's not too shocking. They lie left and right. But you have beats and misses. And this means that all the beats recorded in the past year will have been misses. And that the U.S. job market is in far, far, far worse shape than they ever would admit. Now, I've been saying this about the economy and everything else. Like, we're in like recession territory. Like, the day they come out and try to tell you that, you're probably already in a depression. All right. Let me get a breaking update. Thank you, Spiro, for chiming in there. Try to keep one eye on the chat, one eye on what I'm reading. We've got breaking news. Scroll right back up here to Spiro real quick. Strong 7.4 earthquake, 55 kilometers west of Port Vila, Vanuatu. Tsunami warning issued. All right, so we can see here now, over on the earthquake map. See what they got here on this 7.4 large scale, shallow depth. That's per USGS. It's coming in at only 10 kilometers depth. He just said a tsunami warning, so let's dive in and take a look here. This is one of the most active regions on the planet. Okay, this whole region right here, Fiji, Tonga, Vanuatu. I believe earlier, right before we went live, I saw something about a 6.4. Was there? Or a strong quake hitting in New Zealand. I don't see anything fresh laced up there. I don't see anything fresh. Although New Zealand is, look at that, New Zealand is swarming. I mean, it's been swarming like all year. It continues to swarm, and it's swarming pretty much all the way up to the outskirts of Fiji. And then look, what do you know? Same area, we got this this pretty big quake. So I'm gonna say, yeah, Port Vila. They've done felt this. They've done felt this. Anybody that's there in this village, any of these villages, I don't know if this is a strike slip fault that we're dealing with here, because the different kind of faults generate different kinds of waves. But heads up, man. Port Vila, especially all these smaller islands in the region. Let's look at the I'm gonna say this whole area right here, if any of the water pulled back out of this bay, that'd be one of the first places that I would be concerned about seeing the tsunami hit, is right here. It's the closest place to the epicenter. Sometimes, I mean, if the wave just got pushed this way and there wasn't a lot of wave receding, I don't know, this would be my main concern right now with the tsunami warning. Port Vila, anything right here on the coast, any of this. Back out just a little bit, quick. Malampa, the island of Malampa, Tafe, Sanma, all the islands of Vanuatu should probably, I doubt we got anybody tuned in, but coming from there, but New Caledonia, Fiji, the immediate area, Guam, east coast of Australia, and potentially New Zealand as well. That would be the biggest threats that I would see out there. But hopefully it's not bad. Thank you for that update, Spiro. Get any other updates, please drop it in the chat. And at me, at Dabu77, if you need to get my attention as well. Peter Schiff, he's saying that the economy is on borrowed time. He's been pretty accurate with a lot of his assessments. He's a big gold bug. He hasn't been big on Bitcoin or nothing like that, but you know, he looks at the economy from a different viewpoint. And he's been really good at the stuff that he's called out and being able to spot. And he's basically saying that, look, this thing's going to come down. We're on borrowed time, as you can see in the title. And he, too, now is saying the same thing that other economists and these market guys have said and warned about on camera, that Trump is about to inherit a ticking time bomb, an imploding economy that by all accounts, it almost seems designed to come down on him during his tenure, because he doesn't see how you make it out of the next 4 years without this happening. And the warning signs are there that they may trigger it. They may actually trigger it. Whether it was on purpose or not, fundamentally, just by what they're saying they're going to do. They're going to go in and they're going to cut all this stuff in these different places. And Trump's going to fire off tariffs in every direction. So if the tariffs backfire in any way, it can affect our economy big time. And there's no way that Americans are not paying more. He says that most of the people that just voted in this election are still blinded by the light, so to speak. When the dust settles and they start to see exactly what's happening when Trump throws tariffs on things, they're going to be paying out the nose. So don't try to tell me, oh, no, it won't happen. It won't. It already happened. Some people need to take their head out of the sand. You go back to the last administration, Trump was firing off tariffs. Things like washing machines and dryers, they went up like $100 and some higher than they normally were because of the tariffs. And this is what I'm talking about. Expect everything that comes out of China to go through the roof. And you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it. Well, I'm just curious. Will all these people that voted for Trump just sit there when they have to pay all this money for all these items? Well, I mean, what will they say to Trump then? Stop it? The bleeding's too bad? We can't take it? We can't afford this no more? Like, what's going to really happen here? Well, I guess we're going to find out, huh? And will they dare say anything or to sit there with their mouth shut and bleed out? It's fitting to get interesting. But they're going to gut this whole thing as soon as they get in here. And remember, we're going into a national emergency on day one, which is just crazy to think about. They've already told us it's going to happen, which is huge. It's a huge deal. It's absolutely huge. But you're aware of it. Anything can happen during that national emergency. Just remember last time when they pulled some crap. We're just getting warmed up here tonight. Once we get into this drone stuff, we're going to look to tear it apart and kind of put a stamp on who's behind this, definitively. In the meantime, Trump is setting up investments. He's trying to go around and get people to invest in America. You've never seen Biden do this. Let's just be honest. Right now, he's hiding in the basement, sucking his thumb or something. I don't know. He's not doing anything. Every time you see Kamala out there in the clip, ever since she lost the election, she seems drunk somewhere. It's what is really going on? Who's controlling the country? It's ridiculous. He don't go out and strike up deals like this and try to get investment and things like that. Well, Trump's already doing it. It's just his business nature. That is a good thing. That is a positive. I'll give it that. We'll call them out where they deserve it, and we'll give them props where they deserve it. Trump is a businessman. This is his specialty. And an actor. Don't forget. But $100 billion U.S. investment here with SoftBank. And looky here. Trump is touting that they may use Bitcoin in a U.S. reserve on day one. This is going to cause Bitcoin to go bananas. It will extend the bull run, I would say. I don't see how it doesn't. Trump had done said, I would like to see it hit 150 early in his term. So he done set a benchmark out of his own mouth, what he would like to see it hit. Look at that. A $200,000 Bitcoin buy order is coming in January 2025. Look, there's going to be all kinds of speculation in a bull market, but I will say this. If he comes in here and does away with the taxing and gets everything straight on this, like I said before, and they do create a reserve with this, it's a double-edged sword. Okay? Because bull markets do not last forever. And you never buy a tip. You always buy the dip. That's just the common sense of it. Well, right now, we're at the tip. We're at the highest it's ever been, all-time highs. Just said it yesterday, today. So this thing can go parabolic here at any time. And when it does, there's usually a sharp come down off the top of that, and then it goes into a slow bear market for a couple years. It's going to happen. It always does. Every single time it does. Everybody gets all hyped up, and next thing you know, they get caught slipping. The market's crashed. They think it's going to bounce back up, and it never recovers. And it just keeps slipping away. And everybody that bought in at $100,000, your government now, let's just put it in perspective. Your government spends all this money, and they're buying Bitcoin right now at the top at $100,000 a piece plus. Become summer 2026, all the world events, and who knows where we're going to be. And said this thing could have, like it always does, just go look at, I'm going to pull it up, man. It always drains out. I'm not going to try to pull up the chart because I don't want it to glitch. I don't want anything to glitch. It's got numbers jumping around all over the place. I want to screw stream up. Point is, it sounds good, but if you invest $100,000 right now in this reserve, it's going to pull back naturally. So it's going to lose money that whole time until it rises again. Okay? So what you would want to do is, even if it is established, buy a Bitcoin or so and put it in it. Wait. You wait till it pulls back. This is not the time for a long-term investment. It's just not. You never buy the top. Okay? And that's where we're at. About to be a blow-off top on it. Same with tomorrow. Everything's set up like that right now. Only thing it's really not is that's bullish is gold. Gold and silver and the precious metals, they're primed to run and just keep running. Because they've been held back so long. So that's what they're talking about doing. A reserve with Bitcoin. We'll see what happens under this Biden administration. I expect to see Bitcoin blow up from here. You could get in it now and try to ride it out. It's all on you. But the whole thing this whole time it's a tax trap. You understand? It's been the whole time. But if you can navigate the waters and watch your tail, ultimately, if there's an opportunity on the table, take it. Who knows when another one's going to come along. Just know that this is, like I've told you before, it's created by the NSA. It's tracked and traced every single move. As long as you're not doing nothing nefarious and you're just doing trading, then you should be good. But most people just don't listen to that advice. Unfortunately, they take the money and run, and they never pay the taxes on it, which is the trap. So, this story right here, remember the night you sat here and you listened and you heard that there's going to be a Bitcoin killer come along. It's going to happen. And it's going to be this, Google's Willow processor. Why? Because it is a super quantum computer, and it can crack the codes. It can make Bitcoin and the whole network obsolete. And that's what they're saying. I'm surprised that they're letting this cat out of the bag, because normally when you see headlines like this, it's FUD time. It's time to bring the market down, go into a bear market. And that's how they do it. They pump a lot of negative news, scare the crap out of everybody, give them a dump. That's how it works. And it'll happen again. You watch it happen again every time it does. John, thank you for the coffee. God bless you. Yeah, so when they roll this out, which is inevitable, it will surpass the technology of Bitcoin and the whole thing of the cryptographic. You need quantum cryptographic stuff. You need advancements, something beyond this even now. So it's almost old, the technology. So because advancements are coming in people that have not even wrapped their head around cryptography and crypto and blockchain and all that, man, they're just going to get left behind, to be honest with you. If you're someone that's super old and you just don't care, I get it. But like the youth or anyone else that has to navigate this world from here on out, you need to understand where this is all going. What this ultimately is going to do is it's going to make these things obsolete. People thought would last forever at some point, and it will surpass it. And I believe at that moment, it opens a door for them to establish a global digital currency, CBDC, whatever you want to call it, a global one. This full scale, because they're going to say that it's, as they always do, it's unmatched, it's untouched, but there's always something new that comes along that can outdo it. In this case, this quantum processor, they're saying it's just that. So I expect this to show back up here some point in the near future, within the next 6 months, because Bitcoin, this bull run will not last past that. Bull runs, the tops of them are very short-lived. I expect if it's going to hit a high, it's going to hit a high early, as Trump said in his presidency. It's going to do that parabolic run-up, and then after that, it peters out for a while. It has to. There has to be a correction. Just anyone that's new to the game, I don't want you to get caught, off guard here by this. Trying to invest around $100,000 Bitcoin, and 6 months from now, it's at like 60, 70,000. That's where it's going. It has to pull back. It has to spend time doing that in the market. I'm going to predict that we see a run-up from here, and it established new highs, even from here, with Bitcoin, somewhere around Christmas. Somewhere right around Christmas, right around Christmas, and then maybe a healthy dump off after the new year. That's it. It's official. Put it out there in airways. We'll see what happens. Gold. This is the real deal. It skyrocketed 51% last time Trump was in office. I think it's gonna outperform that. He's got 4 years coming up. Granted, it all goes that way. I think gold outperforms. With world events, war fronts that are going to pop off, big events, gold's going to run. All right, I'll keep it pushing. If you guys don't know, there was a death of a whistleblower here connected to OpenAI and all this AI stuff. And this is 26-year-old Suchar Balaji. They say officially this is ruled a suicide. According to the medical examiner, there was no foul play in his apartment when he died. Others are saying that this is just, there's no way. He wasn't suicidal, and that he woke up and he was exposing what was going on in OpenAI. So now they're looking at the very top, the owners that run all this, the creators. Did they off him? Did they set all this up? Because he came to the conclusion that OpenAI and all the AI is using copyrighted data. It is everything. If they're scraping up me right now, this is my likeness, this is my production, this is my everything. If they're taking it and using it to put into their database, they're using copywritten material, and they are. And that violates the law. Not only that, it violates the law and technologies like act, what's in motion. And this guy was like, look, he blew the whistle on it. And he brought attention to something that they didn't like. At all. At all. Because they were getting away with it. Like, yeah, they're doing it, but like no one was complaining about it or bringing any attention to it. So they were going to continue to get away with it. Violating U.S. copyright laws. Now he's dead. And I feel like his soul's screaming, like someone, I feel like they murdered him. I don't think it was suicide. I don't have the proof yet, but when these things unravel like this, all too often, this is what happens. And he's been silenced. Problem is, though, cat's out of the bag, and this isn't going to go away now. And I think the issue needs to be pressed. Some kind of justice for him and his soul, because they're stealing from everybody, and they're just getting away with it. And they should be paying you. They should be paying everybody for that. You should be getting a piece of the pie. That's what's right, but they're not. They're just stealing it from you. And he didn't think it was right. Salutes, my brother, for having a heart, for having a mind, and caring, and doing the right thing, for fighting the good fight. I salute you. Rest in peace, brother. Can't you see? Someone just lost their life in the battle of trying to get us the truth and doing the right thing. So, again, salutes for calling them out. If only more would step up and fight the fight. All right, so now, here toward the top of the hour, here we are. We're going to dive into all the drone stuff. I'm going to start off here real quick with a couple things to point out. Again, if you guys don't follow me over on X, you need to, because that's where all kinds of info is getting dropped that you're missing. And I'm looking something up here real quick on my feed to share with you guys. Here it is. Now, if you guys missed it, and I don't watch football. I grew up playing football, liked football, watched football until I woke up one day and said I'm sitting here wasting my life every Sunday watching grown men throw a ball around. I had an epiphany. And God scolded me, like, what are you doing? And I was just like, oh, you're right. It embarrassed me. Like you're squandering your time, your precious time that you have here to do things, watching, every Sunday, watching men in tights throw a ball around. And it really put it on me. And I was like, you're right. So I in the rear view. You ain't got to tell me twice. Anyhow, I don't keep up with any of it unless I'm really talking about the subliminals or the sigils or the demonic stuff you're going to see at the Super Bowl. We'll check in then. Or when we see things like this that pop up in my feed. That, lo and behold, Trump arrives at the Army-Navy game. Okay? So now they've politicized this game. Anywhere Trump goes, eyes are. Okay? And look who he's got right next to him. J.D. Vance. Right? His VP. Well, guess who's heavily invested in Palantir? In these companies? Guess who's heavily invested in Palantir? J.D. Vance. Okay? So they're at this game, and guess who decides to run a commercial while they're at the game? Palantir. Okay? Guess what Palantir showed us? They telegraphed drones taking off from a mothership. You can't make this up. Yeah, for all the millions of sheep at home that just were not even really paying attention. They just got that dropped on their subliminal. Thank you, Quantum. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it to the fullest. What's that member thing there? Chrissy from London, England. Welcome to the underground. Much love to all my UK cats, Crown Jewels, Daz, everybody across the pond. Everybody worldwide. I've seen FEMA Region 6, 7, and a bunch of others out there. I just want you guys to see what's happening here. The millions of people glued to the TV on Saturday watching college football, millions, that they won't let us get nowhere near. They won't let us touch them. If you notice, my streams climb up to like maybe dedicated to like 2,000 watching, and they'll knock it down hundreds at a time. A normal stream doesn't do that. A normal stream doesn't constantly lose hundreds like it just did. Like it just did. It doesn't do that, okay? They don't do that. It's not how it works. So heavily censored, it's pathetic. But we keep on fighting the fight. Follow me over here on Twitter again. And check my pages daily if you want to see this stuff. Like this image I put out, that was a clip from that video. It shows the drones leaving the mothership just like that. Of course, we're talking about a little bit bigger drones here, and we're going to dive into all that. Some of the stuff connected there. Thank you for all the info you guys send as well. Dabu7@yahoo.com. If you need to get anything to me. Again, I want to thank everyone that shares the stream here at the top of the hour. And give an update here real quick. It looks like the United States Embassy in Vanuatu damaged by the large earthquake that hit. So there was some damage in Vanuatu from that 7.4 quake. Just so you guys know. Yeah, predictive programming for the masses. You're right. And guess who's profiting off of all this? Okay, so on to the next. Here we go. Trump. It looks like he just woke up or he's super tired in this one. But he's asked about this whole thing. And I got a couple different things here. He's asked about the drones. And this is very, very super duper important, if you ask me. Okay? 45, 47, your incoming president, I'll give him this. I put out a thing saying that they asked him if he got intelligence briefing, and he said no comment, and he didn't want to say nothing because, we know something, but he can't because he's sworn to have to not say nothing because of secrecy. But he did say something. He said something before. He said, who knew, period. And if no one else is going to say it, I think he gave you the only hints that you're going to get thus far. Here, I'm going to play this so you can see.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, they happen to be over Bedminster.
Want to know the
They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Have you been?
She said, Did you receive an intelligence briefing on that? And he said, I don't want to comment on that. That was his last words right there. And look, he's looking at her like, the look on his face, he's thinking about everything he knows. He's thinking about everything he knows. Boy, I'm telling you right now, man, I've watched this man and his demeanor and his posture for a long time, doing what I do here. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're only going to get very subtle warnings, and you better know how to pick them up. You better know how to spot them and where they're at. He just told you flat out that your government knows. Donald Trump, the incoming president, has told you your government knows, the military knows where they're taking off from and where they're landing. He said it. He knows all this. That's what he was willing to divulge. He knows a lot more, which he can't, he doesn't want to speak on because, he has sworn to secrecy in some of these briefings in certain details. He has valid points. They're keeping people in suspense, and he's like, it doesn't make any sense why. Well, I think he knows why, and I think he's lying there. I think he knows why. He's not being left in suspense. He knows fully. This isn't good. And thank you for the coffee. Hey, thank you. This is, he told you as much as you're gonna get. I don't know if he's gonna make it into office, if it stops him from getting it. I mean, this whole thing's, the world is a stage, and you know it. But this man just said our military knows where they're taking off from and landing, so they are bold-faced lying to us. I believe him. I do not believe Donald Trump just came out and lied in that aspect. I surely do not. I think he's telling the truth. He just told the whole freaking world the truth. Love him or hate him. He just put him on blast. He just put him on point subtly. And then refrained at the end to even talk about it. Actually, he's not going to talk about anything he's been briefed on. Well, he did. He also knows he can't sit there and just keep his mouth shut. He owes the people something. He has to say something. So, look, man, I'm not sure you're going to get much more until the event. Until the reason they're really rolled out is seen full scale. And there's a lot of debate as to what that is, but we're going to tear into that right now. So you remember, your government knows full scale what's going on, okay? Donald Trump puts that to bed. Again, are these things just going to disappear on January 20th when all his people and all his men get into these ranks and these positions? Are they going to allow that? If it's that big of a threat to stop him from getting in there, wouldn't he be saying so? They're saying it's not a threat. They're saying that it's not a threat and this and that. And of course, everybody, we've been talking about the nuclear sniffer thing, and we're going to dive into that more too. But the more people that bring that whole nuclear sniffer thing up, and think about it, and really, honestly, if there's something snuck into this country, you do not waste a single second or minute, right? Think about it. If that's really the case, let's stop for a second. I'm not saying it is, but let's just play this scenario out for a second. Let's just say that somehow, some way, it's in here. We ain't got to argue about somebody who smuggled it or got it in here, but it's in here, okay? And they're looking for it. And they don't want to freak nobody out, okay? Let's just, hypothetically, let's just go with this for a second. Let's see if it can stick. So, okay, sounds good thus far, but a couple things right at the gate, a couple obvious things start to kill it. If you ask me and some other people out there, that I think it's good to always raise questions. If you were in charge of the security of this country and you just found out that somebody smuggled or somehow there's a nuclear, you suspect, material snuck in somewhere, you want to launch these things to sniff it out, but we can't tell the public. We just can keep lying to their face. We'll tell them what we're doing. We're actually freaking them out even worse than if we just told them straight up, in my opinion, in that case. We're keeping everybody in more suspense and freaked out than if you would have just told them and got it out of the way, and told them to be vigilant. There's really nothing you could do at that point. At least they then know that it's not the enemy and that, it's something different. And then they know that you're being truthful. That would be my argument. But, dude, this government operates a completely different way. So, hang with me for a second. Hang with me. I'm about to kill this thing or give it life. Okay? We've got something missing, a dirty bomb or something, and we've got to find it now. Okay, right? Hypothetically, we got to find it now. Every freaking second counts. Are you guys listening to me? Every second counts, right? Every second counts, right? Why would you quit looking all day long? Why would you only look at night? Why would you quit looking all day long? You wouldn't. If you were really trying to find something that was missing in the country, nuclear radiation, you would be on it constantly. Day, night, round the clock. Not just... Are you kidding me? That's gross negligence right there, if that's the case. Doing nothing for hours and hours, all day long, basically. All day long. How would you ever find it then, really? See, that makes no sense then. If you were really trying to find something that is here with nuclear sniffers, you would not stop looking all day long. Huh? People want to start thinking? Huh? See, I always try to put myself like an investigator into the shoes of the main person in the situation. When you're dealing with corrupt people, you've got to think like a criminal. Okay? You think it out like the criminal. And that's often how you solve what's going on. So, right here at this bridge, at this crossing, we've got a problem. If we're talking sniffers, if that's what we're looking for, all of a sudden this thing starts to fall apart. Because why are you wasting any precious moment? Matter of fact, charges could be pressed on someone. If you knew that was the case and you just dropped the ball and you decided to do nothing all day long, you'd be held accountable in my book for every minute you had them on the ground, if that's the case. Sure enough. And for all this. So to just fly these things at night, like flying around like, hey, look at me, that's really what they're doing. They're not trying to be hidden. They want to be seen. And they're huge. They could be equipped with anything. And I can't... Man, the amount of TNT or explosives that could be equipped on these things, the size of a car, it'd be insane. But again, I can't even think like any of that because, I mean, it's a possibility, I guess, if you want to start talking staged events, but this falls onto our government. It's the first thing Trump said, your government knows. Okay? So our government knows, Biden knows, the whole regime knows, all of them know. Just remember that. They all know, the military knows where they're taking off from and landing. I've had a challenge on the table this whole time. I've had a challenge on the table for someone to track these things down. BD, thank you for the coffee. I had a challenge, somebody track these things down. And it's still on the table. We need it. We need citizen verified proof. Because they're not going to tell us anything, give us anything, obviously. So, Trump told us that they know this. They know where they're coming from. So, there is a place. It's not a fairy tale. There's a place. There's a location. He even specifically said a garage. Was he telling us something? I think he is. How are these getting over Nebraska? How are they showing up over right here in Georgetown, Kentucky, in my neck of the woods? How are they showing up over Lorain, Ohio, over Hoodie Ross and them? Huh? How they show? You're going to see here all over the place now. Texas, Florida, they're all over. So they're not just coming out of the ocean. Maybe some were, and then going out there and landing on a platform and taking off. Maybe not. Maybe it was designed to look like that. They shot up the coastline, out of sight, out of mind, whatever, into another location, back over land, into a garage or something. We don't know. We don't know until we track them. Again, the challenge is on the table. Somebody's got a camera and got a car and cares and wants to be legendary. I'm serious. You'd be legendary for this one. You crack this one. Oh, yeah. You earn them stripes, baby. Oh yeah. It's right there. Waiting. Biden's garage. There's no telling at this point. I think what he's hinting at is like something controlled by the government. Obviously, he put all the pieces together here. All right? Minx, thank you for the coffees. Much love, Pure Blood. You got that right. Ah, thank you for the comment. All right. I had, and I'm gonna keep it pushing here. We're gonna move through all these incidents and touch on everything and just keep it flowing here. Get it all out there as we always do. Again, thank you guys for the coffees and all you guys that shared the stream. I appreciate it to the fullest. I shared on X an image. I had to end up re-sharing it because it disappeared. I can't find it on my timeline. And I just find it very odd. Because this is how things come to me. Like as soon as I saw the story and I saw it, I played the clip, I hit play here. And when it did, I froze it. And dude, this exact image, that's the frame that I got. I screenshot it and I shared it. And this is what's missing. Deleted, like missing, just mysteriously missing from my freaking channel, right? Pisses me off. And yet I turn around and see these other people sharing the stuff. And it's like, hold on, like where did my post go? Like, it's a whole nother story, man, to get into. Anyhow, that's not a bird to me. That look like, this looks like a metal seam. That's definitely a seam right there on the object. And when we were on the live, we were on the X Live, we had a gentleman come onto the stream, maybe listening tonight. If you are, much love. He gave us the details of how the engine works and how many blade sets there are. You get your front set, and there's like, I don't know, 20-some sets of blades that run through there. And he had a very valid point. He goes, as soon as that thing hit the very first blade, you saw a spark. He goes, that was a metallic That was that was not a bird. And if you know the size of this forget what it was, 737 Boeing. I think it was 737. It was flight AAL 1722. Those engines are pretty big. So that object to me is decent sized. Sheepdog, good for the coffees. God loves you too, brother. Holding them line, Semper Fi. Salutes. I feel like he hit a drone. They immediately called in for emergency landing. It's a possible drone. You can't rule it out, but a bunch of other experts that were looking at it saying, man, that object was way too large, and the way it responded, they were saying the same thing my boy on the stream was saying about it being metal, and metal, and all that. Right here, just watch. You're gonna see it right there. Boom. That initial flash. He basically said that shouldn't have been there. That initial flash was the electronics or whatever, metal, all that, like on that first blade. Because if it was a bird hitting that first blade, there should have been no spark thrown. None. He wouldn't have done it. It's basically what he was saying. It was all the signs are there that it says here, possible drone. We don't know, but I find it kind of odd, man. At least I'm not the only one. Hey, we're documenting this stuff, right? So, as the days go by and these events happen, Skip Bar said that was no bird. Bird or plane, man. I don't know who it was, what it was. Looky here. I tweeted this out right as it was happening as well. A drone forces the shutdown of the airport in New York as this is happening all over. It happened over the nuclear power plant. The nuclear power plant now calling for a no-fly zone to be over these areas, and there should be anyway. Well, I hate to tell them, I think there already is, but they're just encroaching it. They're coming in and doing whatever they want, which is the scary part about this. So Hochul trying to demand that they do something and basically says, look, y'all need to bring in emergency technology to stop this. Emergency technology. So they said they were going to roll it out. Emergency technology to deal with this. Okay? Look at this. This is crazy. This is crazy. Where did they take all the parts of the aircraft and everything from Roswell? Jog your memory. Where did they take it all? To Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. That's where they took it. Okay? Guess who gets shut down? Airspace over Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Shut down after drone activity. So it's everywhere. It is everywhere. You understand? This is a massive operation being launched. This is, in my opinion, definitely drones being launched by projects like you saw Palantir, like DARPA, like we've talked about for years. It's right there. Those types of places. That is who is doing all this, if you ask me. They're military contractors, government contractors. So they can sit there and they can tell you that the government's not doing it and that the military's not doing it. And they're telling you the truth, in a sense, on the surface. But they're funding all this because they did. They fund and it's their baby. It's their animal. DARPA is their creation. Without their money going into it and fueling it all, none of these projects get up off the ground. And that's exactly what, dude, these guys have been doing this for years. Years and years and years and years. I feel like they're putting on a show here. This kind of leads into what Stephen Greer was saying, and I don't trust that dude for nothing. I think he's a part of it. I honestly think they're about to pull something insane. He may have been telling the truth about that much. Do you know that guy just dropped a documentary on December 10th called something about disclosure? Like, get ready for disclosure or something? Like a whole documentary on the whole thing. Where all these dudes are about to come out and give their names and all this and all this information. And dude, just by the trailer I watched, man. It's set up, dude. They may be about to play the card. I don't know why Greer and what's that one dude's name? Billy blanks. I'm shooting blanks here. I can't think of it. Billy Carson. Don't trust him neither. He's been caught in lie after lie. And his connections to who he is and what he is. Would shock a lot of people. That's why I tell you can't trust these shells out here. That you wonder how they rise to where they're at in these platforms and get promoted and get to be who they are. I watched a really good one the other day. A dude smoked Carson head to head and just smoked him. It was well worth a watch, but you'll probably never see that video because it gets buried, and the guy that they wanted to promote on everyone gets pushed on you. So Billy's in it too, and you know I sit back in a different viewpoint, and I see it from a different angle. I see it when I see these characters being rolled out. It's a production, and they're trying to sell it to a certain crowd of people, and they've warmed you up, a lot of people, to like some of these characters. And I know I see it differently. I trust nothing. I trust none of them. If they were to be trusted, I'd tell you. If I got a trusting vibe off them, I would tell you. But I don't. I get they are part of it, part of a huge deception that's about to be played on us, that is being played on us. And from different degrees, they're giving us half-truths, because that's all of what it is. They're feeding half-truths. Half. So, Greer come out and said it's these black hats and this. He said it is these groups, like DARPA's and them, but even higher, that ran the black sites where the alien bodies were kept. That's who's coming out with all this information. He said the biggest event in human history is about to happen. Disclosure. That's what they're saying. You cannot forget this. It's happening before Trump gets in office, like here within any time, within 30 days, as they say. You can't forget about that. That it ties in with this, like hand in hand. Okay, it's just from a different angle. They're telling you what's about to happen. Okay, J&D show. Well, you see with the plasma orbs, and thank you for the comment. There could be a shift, and we need to watch it and pay attention. If we do start to see UAP and UFOs rolled out here, this is it. Do you understand? We very well may. It may have already begun because it's already being reported. I posted the videos going into the ocean, and beyond that, the news itself posted just a single one. The exact same thing that I showed going into the ocean, but it was just a single one, just sitting there. Just an orb. And it's like, okay, that's not a drone. The drone have green and red FAA lights that when you pause it, you slow it down, you look close enough, as crazy as it may look, it's a human craft. Or known technology. FAA lights, things like that. UAPs, UFOs, classic orbs, and things of that nature, man. A lot of that stuff still can't even be explained because it's that high of a technology. These little orbs is whipping around, catch them on a bridge cam in the city out of nowhere, broad daylight, whipping around these little light orbs. Like those things are different. That's different. That's like advanced high level tech right there. This is coming in, checking the scene out, and dipping out. And I'm telling you, the good guys are fighting in this too. Okay? There's something you can never forget. All the evil here, there's good guys in this as well. Okay? And now that I think about this, oh my God. The bad guys are here. Then who would they be preparing for coming in if they were really geeked, if they were really trying to trick us into getting... They would lie to us and say that something's coming in, but who would it really be? It would be the good guys. Who would they want to catch? Who would they want to stop? The opposition. So if good guys were trying to come in here and help in any way or any form in the physical realm, they would see them. Neutrino light, it goes back to that. Real UFOs. You step down in and out of dimensions, it gives off a burst of neutrino light. Do the research and look. You'll see. Thank you, Jay. They track this. I'm telling you. This is when you see helicopters scouring the area. Well, they're not doing that for their own guys, their own technology, their own stuff. They're doing it for these guys that are sneaking in. And I feel it's the good guys. They have to be somewhere. At some capacity. There has to be a yin to every yang. They're shooting at someone's shutting their stuff down in some instances, and it wouldn't be the hand that give it to them. It would be the opposite. And to me, it's almost like a trap's being set here. What if they're looking for them? What if they're looking for them? What if they're just by chance looking for the good guys that came in here? Have you ever thought about that? And they're about to freak everyone out and say something different? And that these drones were used to try to track them? It's all we got to do it? I don't know what they're going to say. But they could easily turn everybody against something real quick. I mean, he comes like a thief in the night. I'll remind you guys, I'd be right. Seems a huge show is about to go down. Either way you cut it, a huge show is about to happen. That's where this is leading me to. Huge show. This has to do with one of really only like three things. The nuclear thing. They're trying to find and sniff out. Another life, intelligent life thing. Or it's technological, siphoning data over everyone's houses in all the cities and all that. Marinate on that for a minute, huh? Could be multifaceted, as Spiro said, and it often is. There's often many different goals and things to achieve with these events. I feel like they're just getting started. John Boy. Much love. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, so let me keep it pushing. I'll give some final thought assessment here. just remember everything that I'm saying here. Remember everything that we're going through. Remember everything I said already about if they're looking, if they're nuclear sniffers and this is imminent and every minute counts, why are they not flying during the day? Why are they not looking during the day? It makes no sense. It makes no sense, period, of what, if they were looking for if they were actually looking for something, well, they would just stop looking during the day. Seems more and more this isn't a visual thing, an optic thing. They want to be seen again. If you were really trying to be like low key about this, you wouldn't be doing a bunch of this. You just would not be. I don't know, man. It's I don't trust them at all. Look, a drone crashes into a New Jersey homeowner's backyard. And this is after they had reports that one went down, and then they said, "Oh, false alarm." After 16 hours of searching, they came up empty-handed, and everyone's like, "Well, if it went down, where's that? Are they lying? We can't get cameras close enough to see if they did find something." But that same night, a drone fell out of the sky, and it crashed into a New Jersey homeowner's backyard. Okay, so it fell at the Pequannock Township in Morris County. And this is a hotbed. Morris County is like a center of where they're seeing all this in the Jersey area. It happened about 8:45 p.m. Thursday night. Okay? So they say that they don't think that it was a military or commercial drone, but rather more like a hobby or toy drone. But that has not been corroborated. So, and we don't know. Since they want to cordon off these things like they're UFO crash sites and not let nobody get near them, it's hard to know. So anything that we get, any picture, video footage, anything we can get is gold right now. Anything. I swear, man, if I was up there for a day or two, I'd just be driving around, chasing these things at night, all night long. Coming up with something. You'd be seeing me get outran by them live on a live stream, exhilarating as all could get, chasing them into the ocean, or something's gonna give. I just, for the life of me, I can't believe somebody hasn't done it yet. I just can't understand that. People are like, they're so fast to outrun them. We're like, show me. Show me. Show us that. Show us that. That's all I'm at. Show us. See, this would always prompt me to end up having to go and do all these things, is because it always goes down to me having to be the one to do it. I just find that kind of ridiculous, but I know there's millions of people in freaking Jersey. And this started with a challenge for someone to hop on a boat and follow these things out into the ocean. But if, as Trump said, they could be going to a garage, like, I got to see something. Mr. JC Pizza, thank you. Much love, thank you. I appreciate everyone out there. So I'm just trying to kick up some dust here. You never know what rock we flip over, and we're going to find new information. Look at this. The New Jersey mayor says he's been told to call hazmat in the bomb squad if any drone comes down. So the bomb squad has to be called, and if the fire department goes in, they have to be hazmated up. Something's not right with this. If you want to dissect this, just the details of this alert and this warning and everything else, a normal drone going down does not call for this. You understand? A normal drone that crashes does not. Mine went down shooting a music video after the last conference in a graveyard in a cemetery. We did not have to call in the bomb squad. For the drone going down. I mean, people need to use it's common sense here again. If you just use common sense, something's not right here. This means that there's something radioactive, hazmat, what? Radioactive potentially on the aircraft, or a weapon, or a possible potential explosive? Or is it all just a scare tactic to keep everybody away? We need to crack these things, man. And look, accidents happen. No one's perfect. And at some point, one of these things is coming down out of the sky. Okay? Especially if they're being flown from a far distance. Man, these things are being flown like military style. Do you understand, like, what it takes to do that? I'm a drone pilot, man. And I had a Phantom 3, man. I got that thing out there and everything else. But you have to be able to see it. It has to be in line of sight. And you can only go so far. And your battery life is only so much. For these things to be going all night long, just doing whatever they want, the size of cars, this is bananas, man. I'm going to say they may be fueled, but we don't know. Or like new technology, lithium batteries. Maybe they've got a bunch of them. They could go all night long if they had enough lithium battery on it. And that would be enough concern, a lithium battery in other components. It would call for the right team to put it out, depending on what you're working with. But it's funny. It's like they're telling you all these details, but it's like, how do you know that? Like, what information do you really know to tell us that? That's my question. Like, what makes you say that? I wish I could ask them questions that others don't, because I'm going to keep it pushing. Okay? U.S. Look, this is the latest update tonight before we went live. Okay? Insider paper here. This is them coming out giving the latest update. Okay? Officially. Okay, guys? This is the official word tonight. The White House, Biden them, finally saying that, well, the same thing they've been saying the whole time. Nothing. They say that all the drones are operating legally and lawfully. They have been saying this the entire time. Let's stop and think about that for a second here. Let me re-ask the same question I just asked the last dude. What makes you say that? What do you know that makes you say that? If you know that they're legal and lawful, you had to know who it is to say that. So why are you not telling us who it is? That's the question. That is the $1 million question. Why are you not telling us who it is, government? White House? 47 has told us you know, and I believe him. The military knows where they're taking off and landing from, but yet all you can say is they're moving legally and lawfully. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the doorstep of something huge. Huge. Again, they're doing something technological, scraping data and all this other crap. They're sniffing for something, looking for something. It doesn't have to be radiation. It could be other life and other technology. It could be the good guys. You just remember that. They could be looking for them. What could they say to that? They're going to have to concoct a whole story. And guess what they would have to do? They'd have to drop some kind of disclosure. And isn't it just odd that Stephen Greer just dropped a documentary to do just that? Dude, they're all in on it, and it's about to happen. If I was going to put my money on anything, that's what I'm putting it on right there. It's about to happen. It's about to happen, dude. They're about to drop a lie of disclosure. Do you understand? And when you sit there and you think about, well, this and that, blah, 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 well, they're going to say someone is a threat. Man, it all takes me back to them getting this whole world ready to turn against God. Imagine God's coming. They know it. They know somebody's coming. Somebody's coming back. They know somebody's coming. They'll turn the whole world against what's coming. Have the whole world sitting here ready to shoot at the Most High. And it's angels returning. It almost feels like that's their plan here. What if they're chasing plasma orbs? Okay, why would the government be chasing plasma orbs? I'll give you that. What if they are? Who are they? It's not them then. Our government's rolling with the bad guys, the baddies. Who fights the baddies? The goodies. I'm telling you, dude. You better wake up. You better open your consciousness. It almost seems like someone is here. All the signs are there. That they are. Oh, I just got crazy chills like I've never got. Oh. Something's screaming at me from the other side. To be ready. Well, everyone readier than you've ever could ever be or imagine. Like, all hands on deck. This is it. Like, they're about to pull the staged. He said it, dude. It's all there. It's in the open. It's right in front of you. They have not hit it. It is all right there. It's all right there. It's all right there, man. It's all right there. It's not a conspiracy to put it all together. It's all right there. They are about to pull something. Look, you know what? This makes sense though, because the war scene on the planet is about to dry up. They have stomped out every country. They've waged all these wars. They took out all enemies on the list. I mean, evaporated Syria overnight. The only one left is Iran, and as soon as Trump gets in there, then they can crumble like nothing. And then what? At some point, a false peace has to come about. And I look at Trump, and everywhere he goes, he's talking about this peace, peace, peace. If he comes in and makes peace on all these fronts, I guess it would just go along with everything. He is the chosen one to do it. Do not forget, Donald Trump has been labeled the Gentile Messiah. Okay? By the rabbis. We've covered this several times. You should have seen it. Do not forget, there's a man sitting in Israel right now that they call the Torah genius. He is their Messiah. He is the Yanuka. He is performing miracles right now. Man, they ever sacrifice that red heifer? Boy, because like any moment, if they didn't, I expect it to happen. All of it's there. All the prophecy. Look at the nights I spent going through all the prophecies connected to Donald Trump that connects to no one else. Solely him. It was insane. All the biblical stuff. Right out of the passages. Then all the weird stuff. Like the whole book on Little Bear and Trump and things like that. And the same thing. Okay? Same thing. All the connections in his family bloodline, his mother, in the name of Christ, tied into it. All that. What about the Hopi prophecy of all the red hat people? Are you kidding me? It's just, dude. How much more in your face? What more proof do you need that we're there and we're in them times? This is it. This is it. Boy. Timing is everything here. Timing is everything. Now listen, I'm gonna play this clown that needs tried for treason right here. This DHS Secretary Mayorkas. For everything he's done, for the border, everything up to this massive false flag that's in motion right now. He's going to tell you majority it's people seeing manned aircraft, all this other crap. He's going to gaslight everybody. He's lying, period. 47 just came out and told you the truth. I mean, I sound like some kind of Trumper saying that. But, look, I give the dude props where it's due. Wherever the truth comes from, even if it is from the beast.
Let's bring in Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Mr. Secretary, thank you for joining us this morning. Can you clear up the confusion here?
Absolutely, George, and thank you very much for having me. There's no question that people are seeing drones, and I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to assist the New Jersey State Police in addressing the drone sightings. Some of those drone sightings are, in fact, drones. Some are manned aircraft that are commonly mistaken for drones, and we do see duplicative reporting. But there's no question that drones are being sighted. Let me set the record straight here, George. There are thousands of drones flown every day in the United States. Recreational drones, commercial drones. That is the reality. And in September of 2023...
Listen to this, though.
The Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, changed the rules so that drones could fly at night. And that may be one of the reasons why now people are seeing more drones than they did before, especially from dawn to dusk. And so that is the reality. But I want to assure the American public that we are on it. We are working in close coordination with state and local authorities. And it is critical, as we all have said for a number of years, that we need from Congress additional authorities to address the drone situation.
Additional authorities is what they're calling for. Additional powers. Do you understand? Do you hear what the demands are? Do you hear what the demands are? Right there. Do you hear what the demands are? They want more power. This is them. This is their creation. This is everything. You know it. Right in front of your face. We've said this could be military contractors, obviously. But that's still fed by the money coming from the same beast. Okay? This is a ruckus. This is they changed the rules to where they can fly at night now. En masse. Okay. So they're allowed to fly en masse, and they're doing so at night now. We see that, obviously. Why are they not flying during the day? See, that part of the riddle holds to be huge. Okay? So let me continue. I'm going to let him finish here.
Need from Congress additional authorities to address the drone situation. Our authorities currently are limited, and they are set to expire. We need them extended and expanded.
Ha! He just said it. He just said it. This is like a hostage type of situation, created event. He just said what they want. They need their powers expanded, extended and expanded. Look at the look on his face. That's all this is about. More power and control out of all this. Create this whole event. He said it's about to expire. He said it. He said it. He said it. He said it. So let me get to that because I'm getting to the whole thing of the act expiring. Again, we covered this breaking over on X. All of it's there. If you're not following me on X for breaking information on the daily, you're missing it. Because as soon as something happens, instant, right when it's going down, that's where it's happening. This treasonous fool just dropped some vital information. So where we sit right now, tonight, right now, we sit where they're saying these things are perfectly legal and fine. So they're not a threat. By no means at all whatsoever are they a threat in terms of what a threat is, I guess, at this point, in any shape or form. Since we don't know anything, we can't go any deeper there. But our government knows what they are, and they won't tell us what they are. It's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. It's a huge, huge, huge problem. Maybe this Biden regime on the way out doesn't care to do this because of everything else they've done so boldly right in your face. Remember, Trump said your government knows. Your military knows where they're taking off from and landing. Oh, I just wish I could ask Mayorkas some simple questions, but he just told you what they want out of this whole thing. I can't stress to you how important this is for days and days and days ahead from here. Through events, through all types of other stuff that's going to happen from here. They just told you. They told you from the horse's mouth what they're seeking out of this. So let's make our way to that, okay? And here we go. Kathy Hochul announced that the federal government is sending the state-of-the-art drone detection system to her state. Okay, and this is what's happening. So a brand new state-of-the-art technology. Why didn't they have this before? Why, you're telling me that the most elite systems on the planet that cover the most protected airspace on the planet wasn't good enough? And you've got to pull something out of where? Area 51? Here, now, and take it off the shelf and say, okay, it's time to roll this out. Some new state-of-the-art drone detection system. First off, to say you can't detect them is a lie. Okay? Unless they're being controlled a completely brand new technological way, which in itself is going to be huge. Which would be a huge announcement. It would be a huge announcement. New technologies, it would. It would be a leap in all of it. That is on the table as well here. I don't know what that was. Message retracted in the super chat, but so high-tech systems that we really don't know what they are being deployed in New York right now. LB rules, okay? So it's happening. It's happening in New York. That state's going ahead and doing it. It's almost like any state that asks the feds for this stuff, like they're saying, okay, we're going to send it. What it is, we don't know. Look at this. Schumer urges the feds to deploy declassified technology that can identify the drones. What? What do these dudes know? Do you see where this is going? I'm telling you, this is leveling it up, dude, on the tech side. And I'm telling you, man, with this whole disclosure thing on the backdrop, this has got a sick feeling to it. A sick feeling to it. So we have multiple people begging now our government out in the open to deploy this top-notch, what was like secret, but now declassified technology that apparently they weren't using before that can save the day. That would have to be a brand new technology. Thank you, Jane. It has to be a brand new technology. A brand new technology. All of it, everything that we're dealing with. There's going to be something rolled out. There's going to be a lot rolled out here. There could be a lot more in this disclosure thing. Technology along with life, and the life is going to be a lie. These are the fallen. Do you understand? They are about to fool the whole world and say that there's something else. They're not going to call them for what they are. They're surely not going to make them to be the bad guys. The bad guys are the good guys coming in, trying to slip in, sneak in. Have you seen the footage in subspace and space? They're shooting at these things. Who are they shooting at? Who are they shooting at? They're not biting the hand that feeds them. The wickedness is here. It's locked here for a reason. Who are they shooting at? I'm telling you, it's good guys. I'm telling you, it's good guys. Do not be surprised. He keeps telling me like a thief in the night. It's screaming at me like a thief in the night. Like a thief in the night. A thief in the night. Man. What do you suppose they're going to say about this life? That's the big thing that's about to happen. I think they're going to do this. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to be riddled with lies. They even tried to present these things as being like the good guys. Man. And they're going to have to. They're going to have to. They can't say they're the bad because they're not fighting them. They're going to have to say they're good. They're going to have to come up with some kind of excuse. Now, look what I said earlier about wars. We're winding up, coming down to the final war. Big war with the last countries. World War III is, once you play that card, what's left? What's left? As it's been predicted and prophesied about. You may have heard the last war be fought with sticks and stones. And why would that be? It's because they take all the weapons, turn them into plowshares. And what do they mean by that? A moment when this whole world is disarmed. Whole world's disarmed under a false peace, under these things that basically are holding us hostage. Man, do you ain't comfort at all. You thought Joe Biden and state shootings were bad, and in calling for, thought that was bad all these years of dealing with these events? This trumps them all. when you play this card of life, in contact, in disclosure, in all that, it's over. It's over. Because these things will say, for us to coexist, there has to be peace. We can't, you are too warring. You're too crazy. You just constantly fight and kill each other. And they're going to have a valid point there. So if we're going to coexist in the same environment, all guns and weapons, all that has to be done away. And this is what the Dark Messiah is going to push. Do you understand me? He's going to say they're benevolent. He's going to say that these are righteous, they're good beings. In this sense, they're about to play this card, man. You can't get the masses to fall for it any other way. It can't go any other way. They're obviously going to trick the world into thinking the good guys are the bads. And that these bads that are here, these fallen, are the good. And they're not. And you know better. And they've been here the whole time. They've been hiding in the shadows the whole time. I've told you about this. I've warned you about this. Everyone that wanted to ignore history and ignore everything and just stick their head in the sand, turn a cheek, I told you. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to this other side that's right here, the ether, where the jinn sit. The spirit realm that's real. Real as the air you breathe, but you can't see it. With these eyes and under these frequencies. But that's how it's all designed anyhow. Look, man. People need to start getting educated on this and what they're dealing with. You cannot conquer it if you don't know, or you're going to be deceived by it. I almost feel like people in me, like me, are about to start being hunted. Because I'll be speaking truth to it, like flat out, and they'll be like, no, that's blasphemy, and kill him. Kill him, oh yeah, kill him. People of peace, beings of peace, kill him, huh? Huh? Just kill him, huh? Dude, everybody's about to get set up. They'll never give up your rights, man. I know so many people out there will. I don't know. I like to think that they would go fighting, but if they were presented, if Trump came out and told you, oh no, these are benevolent beings, this is historic, this is blah, blah, blah. And Trump spoon-fed these beings to everybody that they were good, like with the taken. It's just scary. This is scary. The fallen you're talking about is aliens, Jay says. Look, listen. I didn't know I was going to have to do this tonight, but it looks like this is where this is going. I can't see it any other way at this point. They're setting the stage for a huge event here. We already know what it is. It's disclosure. Everything's out there. It's disclosure. Okay. How's it tie in with the drones? It would almost seem like they're looking for someone. They're looking for something. Who would they be looking for? Remember, the bad guys are with them. The bad guys gave them the technology. The bad guys been here the whole time. Bad guys part of this whole scheme. So if they're really trying to track someone down, who would it be? It would be someone trying to stop them. Someone that they don't like. I'm just going to call them the good guys. Anyone trying to fight the bad guys, I'm just going to call them fighting for us. Because it's better than the bad guys. And it's someone. And I believe in a higher power. I believe this isn't all for nothing. I believe there's something higher watching this every second. Come on now. There's a whole team watching this in real time. I can feel them. I can see them. This intelligence, a consciousness, you tap into it. Where others are there and you can feel it. Observing this whole thing, just watching it, how it all unravels, watching. Only way I can explain it is if you live the right life, as they say, live the right way, your body becomes an antenna. And you can feel these things, know these things. I call it knowing. And it's almost like having a sixth sense amplified of just knowing things. You won't know it and never experience it if you don't walk right, which is crazy. It's almost like they told you to do this. They told you if you live a certain way, walk righteous, fasting, all these things, you can achieve this. You can achieve raising your consciousness, your chrism, as I've said so many times. Your oil of gladness. It's been hidden all throughout. It is the sacred thing. It's the way out. It's what's embedded in everything. Someone's watching this. Like right now. Just imagine like behind this, like a whole platform of higher souls watching this. That's how I see this right now. So we got to put in good work. Thank you for the coffees. God bless you. God bless everyone. And hallelujah. Thank the Most High for being with us, giving us this chance to communicate, to discern all this information. And see where we're at here. So let me explain this. If you're trying to wrap your head around this, if you just look to the past, it gives you the keys. They're there if you just go looking. And I've made it a habit. It's part of what I do throughout the past 2 decades. This is what's intrigued me in studying all these different things. I've come to see what overlaps. And I've also come to see what they've tried to keep hidden from us. And out of it, in the end, there's a life form that's here. And they didn't hide that from you. They landed on Mount Hermon that Israel just took. Sacred ground to them. What timing? What timing? This is about to happen literally the moment. Oh, are you kidding me? There's something more to this, I'm telling you. I can feel it. There's something more to this. They just took control of Mount Hermon, where they landed. Sweet Pea, thank you for the coffee. And yes, trust me, this means everything to them. And this event's about to happen. I would almost be willing to say they're turning that place into like a ceremonial spot right now. Worshipping the 200 that landed and came down. I'm telling you, this is biblical. Even Yeshua, Jesus, he warned at the foot of this mountain about all this. Man, I'm telling you, this is prophecy happening in front of you. If they were to come out and tell the whole world that someone's here, guess what place would be marked as like the Holy of Holies, where they touched down? Mount Hermon. To them, this is where their masters came from. Touched down, came into the women of this planet, and bore Nephilim. See, they didn't hide this from you. What they did hide is the key parts of the story. And when you go and you read the books of Enoch, the book of Jubilees, the book of Giants, and all these other ones that have been cut out, it fills in the blanks. And I've done that. I've taken in all this information, and I've tried to show you what this is. This is all high-level sorcery and magic. Do you understand? You're living in a world of witches and warlocks and wizards. And it is the truth. Don't you ever sleep on it for another day of your life. It is the truth. They are tapping into this realm around you. Okay? Classic example is King Solomon. And this is real. They didn't hide it from you. When you put it all on the table, this is what happened. These fallen landed here. They were not supposed to touch us humans. They did. And it created something they did not like, that the gods in the heavens, the Most High, did not like. And the angels saw it as it's written. And they said, this ain't good. You got to wipe it out. They wiped it out. But they are still here as it's also written. So these things are here. And if you missed it, there's a key part that I think all of you need to swallow and understand. Because it fills in the blank big time. When the Nephilim died, their souls became the jinn. What are the jinn? They are the evil spirits that are in the hierarchy underneath of Satan, Lucifer on the other side, that are given power to tempt you every day. It's how this place works. If you want to figure it out tonight. Understand this. Tempting you to smoke, drink, do bad things, maybe sexually immoral things, all those things. They're temptations. They come into your mind. Someone's been given the power to do this to you. Okay? To tempt you. And if you did not read the scriptures in the good book, which even if you're reading the Bible, if you miss these books, you're going to miss what's happened here. When these souls died of the Nephilim, they were turned into these demons, so to speak, archons on the other side. I call them the jinn. I just keep it simple. I call it the jinn because that's what they are to me. They're the evil demons, the gargoyles, on the other side. Okay? At first, they were ferocious. Soon as the waters receded and Noah and his sons came out, they prospered, they spread out. People started to multiply. Okay? This is when our era begins. Because remember, everything before this gets wiped out before the flood. These jinn are attacking the people in the world so much that Noah calls to God and asks God to please stop what's happening. It's malignant. It's too much. It's too much of a weight to bear. The temptations and the torture and what they were putting them through was just too much. So God took away 9/10 and confined them in another place and left 1/10 of them to roam and to tempt man here on this planet. Okay? And that's how he left it be. He left it go at that. At that level. It stayed there to thus far. This is where we sit. This is what is written. Do you understand? It even tells you where the souls go if anyone cares and wants to dive into it any deeper. It's all there. Okay? So they just cut out the main parts, but once you put it all together, you can see it. So these fallen have been here the whole time. When Noah came out of the ark, him and the sons came out. His son, Ham. His wife was of the serpent seed, of the serpent line. She actually came through on the boat, and it's written, and it's told about. And this right there is one way that the line came through, but also it says even after the flood, they were on the earth those days. The Nephilim, some still survived after the flood, and it was written in many different scriptures. They weren't all wiped out. This is why lineage of the giants stayed all the way up to almost current times, even here in North America. What do you find the Indians talking about? And all these different Indian groups, they were fighting red-headed giants all across the dang country. You think they were all lying and making it up? I don't. I think they were telling us the truth, and it's what they are. Matter of fact, you know it. They've dug them up, Smithsonian's whisked it away, but they're there. They're all over the place. We've proven this. We know this. Think for the coffee, smell money. So the giants and everything are real. The cover-up is real. The Nephilim and all that is real. The fallen are real, okay? The spirit on the other side tempting you every day is real, okay? And they've been given power to do this. So, all right, now stop and reflect. Now you're conscious and you're awakened to the point to where you understand that in this reality, there is something beyond what you can see. For sure. There's a power there. And as big as God is, as loving as God is, He made this place this way. He gave these jinn the power to tempt us. Marinate on that. Because when I do, I think, you know what then? You're watching every bit of this. This is obviously a test. What more do I need to figure out then? This is a test. Well, then what is it testing? It must be testing where my soul's going from here. What I call the second death. Yes, Nimrod, Gilgamesh were giants, sons of Cush, yes. You got that right. Uncommon checking in, my brother. Much love. I thank you for that. And yeah, all those stories that you venture down, it leads to the giants. And the Book of Giants itself is just a great one to tear into. King Solomon was given the ring. Okay? This is where the Lord of the Rings comes from and all that. But the ring was a sigil, a seal. You know, that's why they call it the Seal of Solomon and all that. Connected to the Star of David. But others say that it was more than just that. And that's why people say that the Star of David carries the magical properties, which it does in a sense, because it's more than just the Star of David. It goes well beyond that, called the Star of Rephaim. It goes ancient, just like the swastika. It's not some Nazi, this and that. It's an ancient symbol of the sun. And goes back, all these symbols have power. Why do you think Israel uses one on its flag? Do you see now? Do you see? It's sigil magic. And Solomon mastered this. He was given a ring, and he would cast the circle and call upon any single jinn that he wanted. Read the Testament of Solomon, another one they kept out of your Bible. See, and you throw it all together, it's all there. What's the Testament of Solomon say? It says that he ordered all the jinn to twine the rope, to cut the brick and everything to build the temple. That's insane. That means that freaking temple was built by jinn. And the written account on how it was done is right there in front of your face. It wasn't done by humans. It was done by them. And he says it himself in his own testament. Most of that place was wiped off the face of the earth, but there's one wall they call the Wailing Wall. You wonder why they all go touch it, praying and this and that. Well, I would say it is a special wall. It is. And I would say a lot of the old megalithic stuff is very special because it was made by a giant race. You understand? Understand this as well. We're not what Methuselah and Noah and them were. We're not. They were not human. They were something different. Superhuman, you want to call, a different kind of human. They were bigger. They lived longer. Hundreds of years. When they started to procreate, when they came off of the ark, we were cut. down to 120. We were changed. Now, this means that anybody that you find that's buried pre-flood will be a giant, will be bigger. It will be of all that. See, do you understand now that when they found Gilgamesh, and you wonder why it's a secret and disappeared, it's because that's what he is. That's what he was. He was 2/3 God, one-third man. Okay, so they told you flat out what he was. Again, the stuff wasn't kept secret. These cats were giants. You understand? Like, this is the real deal, man. This is your history. This is what happened. Look at even when they sent the Israeli spies to Canaan to view them. What did they say? What did they write in your Bible? They say, we see these men, but it's unbelievable. We are as of grasshoppers in their eyes. They were that huge. It even gives you the height. It gives you the cubits. It gives you everything in the Bible. It gives you all the numbers that are there. It tells you how high the floodwaters were, how high they went above the highest mountains, like 20-some cubits or feet it was. I don't know exactly, but it's there. It lays out the description of it. So if you had giants that stood X amount tall, they could have survived on these mountains. And guess what? The book of Giants says just that. Can you believe that? When God wiped a battle took place, okay? First off, and then this whole flood went down. God ordered the angels, like Raphael, Uriel, and them, to go prepare 32 places in the mountains, in the highest peaks, for the good Nephilim, the ones that listened, okay? They survived it. In the book of Giants states this, while all the rest gets wiped out. So they took them to these high mountaintops, okay? And they gave the description of the height in cubits of what the giants were. Huge giants. They were talking like between 150 to 400 foot tall. You wonder why you look at mountain ranges and it looks like a lady just laid down? I know it blows the mind, but this place obviously was a lot different than what it is now, and it supported a different life. And I think the further back you go, as things were bigger, it was different. Now it's just different. It's a world designed for us. Truly. I mean, we were made, as it's written, in the image of God. And Iblis is the name for Satan in the Muslim text. Well, they didn't want to bow down. He didn't want to bow down to man because he said, I'm not doing it. He is of the fallen. God wanted them to bow down to us. He puts us above them in the rankings and power. That's how much power you have. Do you understand that? And people don't even know it. You squander it. You're put above them here. They were here to watch. They can give knowledge, do all these other things. But you are put on the pyramid above them. That's the power you possess. And he couldn't stand it. And when God made Adam, this the story goes, he walked up and even kicked it until the clay vessel of Adam reverberated. And he says, I will not bow to something lesser than me. You made Adam out of clay. You made me from fire. That's deep. You ever heard of the books of Genesis? You got Genesis A and Genesis B. Very relevant. And what's crazy is because one of the stories tells it from the eyes of Lucifer, Satan himself, of the whole thing, and it corroborates all the other things. I'm telling you, I could get lost in this for hours. This is just me. This is the culmination of all the knowledge. It's a collective. It's all finally come together. It's all there. It all overlaps. It all paints the big picture. We've obviously had ancient civilizations here, time after time again, I believe, in the past, from Lemuria to Atlantis. And even there, we were told what happened. Thoth didn't keep it. He is tantamount equal to Enoch in the Bible. Okay? He is the scribe. He explained how Atlantis exists here in peace and harmony, and how there was war in the heavens. Mars, of all places. And you wonder why it looks like it's got a huge scar on it, like it's been zapped, because it did. It got its atmosphere blasted off of it. Those male-dominant entities showed up here. And when they came here, it offset everything. It offset the energy here. They were male-dominant, is how he described it. They came with a warring nature. And everything got rocked and offset at that point. And Atlantis, as you know, disappeared, ended up going down a day and a night or whatever. And everything got thrown into disarray. Before all this happened, the planet was set up on a massive energy grid where the pyramids were literally generating energy off the earth. It's very simple. It's very simple. Huge power generators, and they were tapping into the ley lines of the planet. Tesla told you all this. Again, it all comes full circle. So you can see what they had, what they were utilizing. They were utilizing God-given free technology, knowledge, all of this. Someone has kept this hidden from us now, degraded our planet, and broke it down to where they can control us. It took away all of that. You see? So there was a time when it was more utopian. You see? And as it is on this plane, the yin and the yang, the negative works its way in and off, and it's back. It's a back and forth, it seems here. It's a realm I don't want to come back into. Cigarettes, thank you for the membership. I do not want to come back into this realm. I know that there's 1,000 years on the table in a life with good souls that earn it, and I'm looking to achieve that. That's where my work and my energy and everything goes from here. I'm looking to please what's listening and watching right now, because I know they are. I can feel it. And it's just a common sense thing at this point. So I'm in the game. I'm in here. And I know they're watching. I know the team is all watching. And I can sometimes even feel them rooting on. It's rules to the game, as I'm reminded. Shape up if you want to ship out. You understand that? So, somebody's screaming that at me. To relay, not to me directly. They're saying, say it. Like, you shape up if you want to get out of here before you ship out. You get right, you walk right. You fight the good fight, you walk righteous, you live the right life. You take care of your body. You do away with the things that you know are bad. You start listening to that gut spirit instinct. You start to believe and actually have faith and live it. And speak things into existence because you were given that power. Know the tools you were given. This is a world where you can create things. You can speak them into existence. I'm living proof of it. You can ask anyone around me. And you can speak the bad things into existence if you're going to cuss things all the time. Damn things all the time. You sure can. You can put yourself in a world of hurt and not even know it. And you were shown this too. When you develop the eyes to see, you can see that the Bible and all these books, they were laid out for almost like a child to read, like a first level of intelligence to read. But then there's a code within it that once you graduate and you develop spiritually and you can see that certain things have been hidden allegorically and metaphorically over and over in the Bible again and again. And I found all kinds over and over. It's been hidden. And it points to one thing: raising your oil of gladness, or what I call the chrism. And you can only do it by walking right. You can only do it by being good. If you sever it, you can't do it. If you live bad, you can't do it. there's by default, evil people can't do it. By default, you can't do it. Do you understand that? That's why fasting and all this leads you to it, takes you closer to it. You were asked to do these things. Plus, when you fast, you give your body time to heal and to do these things as well. You were told not to eat low energy things, bottom feeders, things of that. Book of Deuteronomy laid it all out there for you. You were to eat things that have a split hoof, but nothing else. So a horse doesn't have a split hoof. You don't eat it. All right? Someone told us these things. I think it's rather important. You can ignore it, or you could start to listen. And I started to listen. And as I started to listen and give up cigarettes, and I gave up Mountain Dew, and I gave up energy drinks, and I gave up pork, and I gave up all these things, I could feel it like I do now. Like a heightened sense that's almost unexplainable. You have to like feel it to know it. That's why I call it knowing. And it gives you like another set of eyes, man, that of knowing, of just seeing through the garbage. It's just confirmation. I'll never forget when I was a kid, man. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed to God, you give me one gift, give me one gift. God, give me the gift to see people and read people. Because I was sick of getting lied to. I was sick of getting heartbroken. I was sick of getting used. All of it. It's like young teenagers still in mom's house. And like one day, he gave it to me. I was at a party. I walked in. Normal hangout, whatever. And I started to see every single person for who they are. Dude, walk the door, walking. It's like I could see him, his mouth moving. And he's talking, but I was like sucked into a different place where I seen him in a different way. And I could just tell from this vantage point that when the way he's walking and talking and swinging his butt, he's in there showing off. I knew he's in there for one thing. He's in there showing off, for I'd look over and I'd see maybe there'd be a female over here. I knew what he was doing, what he was there for. All these things just clicked. They were clicking. I could see through people. I could see what they wanted quickly. And it stopped them from being able to do what they were doing. It was like a defensive guard. That was an ability I was given to be able to just read people when I take the time to actually sit there and go into that mode. To observe quietly and be quiet, be still. And to be still. There's keys to this. If you want them, I try to drop jewels, man. Look at all this that came out because of these drones. But remember, it's not just the drones, it's disclosure. And disclosure leads you right to everything I just told you. So there's a reason for this. You need this. Other people around you need this knowledge. And if you want more, just go. I got a homework assignment for you. If you haven't started on the Book of Enoch, Book of Jubilees, Book of Giants, Jude, all these other books, man. Testament of Solomon. There's audiobooks. You can go type it in on YouTube, look up the Book of Enoch, audiobook, or this and that. And you can lay down, you can sit back, you can chill. If you can't read or you want to look at a screen, you can just listen until you fall asleep and even beyond, because hitting your subliminal is good too. It's embedding it deeper within you. Do you understand? So you're going to bed, like I used to do it a lot. I don't do it so much anymore because the setup that I got right now, but I used to fall asleep listening to just that, all these biblical books. And then I'll replay them, and I watch them fully, and I'm taking in the information in different ways, and it's embedding it deep within me, where I got it, and I know it. That way I can relay it to you, because I know people ain't taking the time to do this and to make these connections, and it's taken a long time to do this. It's like a lifetime. It's like decades of a culmination of everything. But I'm saying, if you've got spare time and you want to learn some of this for yourself and like take it in and hear it and be able to even share it with friends and family. Audiobook. Audio. Just pull up a YouTube video. After this, the audio form, hit play. And just listen, take it in, man. Lay back, relax, kick back, and just soak up knowledge. Soak up the knowledge and get it all. That way you know what we're dealing with, okay? If they come out here and they try to say that these guys are, first off, if they do what we're expecting here, if they announce any kind of intelligence of life and this and that that's here and in the possession and all this and in the open, we'll be going live like right that moment. But it's on. It is on like Donkey Kong. And I don't see how, with this whole documentary being launched and all this crap, that this is a fraud. Like this is where this goes. This is where this leads. You can argue it can lead a couple other places, but again, those places don't make sense to me. The sniffing for the nuclear stuff, again, you stop looking all day long, makes no sense. When time is imperative, every second counts. You're just gonna stop all day. You vampires, you can't come out in the daylight. So that kind of puts big dents in that whole theory right there. If you really cared. And if they come out and they try to say, oh, it was this or that, if they try to say it was an enemy of any sort, then they lied to us. Straight to our face over and over. And I just don't think that that's it right here. Man, stage is set for disclosure. I can't believe I'm saying it with such validity. It's there. It's there. You know it. All the proof's there. You've seen it and heard it all like me. Stephen Greer, the whole documentary's been dropped now. They're prepared. You see everything that's happening. And I'm supposing that New Jersey's still under a limited emergency because we don't have answers. Now they're rolling out technology that we don't know. Okay? So I want to pick up there. Nuclear sniffers, we talked about that. Kind of, you know where I sit with that. This guy came out and kind of blew it up a day. He's a professional at building drones, and he's like, man, they seem to be sniffing the ground, like searching the ground for something. And I give him those points, but then every time we get to this bridge about, you don't stop looking for something during the day like that. We can't get a valid answer. There's not a valid excuse for it. You just don't. Not at that level. If you're really trying to chase down where something nuclear is and missing, like every second counts, every minute. It's around the clock. So I mean, riddle me that. I got one for you. Let's do some Broken Arrow. Because that's what we got here. And you just never know what you're going to find and find out when an event pops off. Like, if this stuff would have never went into motion, we never got to this point, I would not have this story right here in front of you right now. Thank you, cigarettes. So, few people know about the missing nuclear bombs hiding somewhere off the coast of New Jersey. That is right. During the Cold War, apparently, they loaded up a plane that was taken off out of the region. 1957, Air Force C-124 Globemaster took off from a base in Delaware on a routine flight to what they were calling Europe. But they're saying the cargo was anything but ordinary, that it started to have problems. Like they had too much weight. It was carrying 3 Mark V nuclear bombs, along with 1 radioactive core. So these small nuclear devices were used in the early days of the Cold War as one of the most transportable weapons in the U.S. arsenal. But the Globemaster, nicknamed Old Shaky, ran into trouble as it flew over New Jersey. there was a cause of mechanical failure, and they don't know what did it. It's unknown. But the plane lost 2 of 4 engines. Its cargo was too heavy to maintain altitude at that reduced power. So they said that they had to drop some of the bombs. Fortunately, the bombs were not fully armed. They say that during this period, the bombs had removable radioactive cores that could be assembled before deployment. So these were like everything but, it still had the explosives and all that, but everything but the radioactive core. And they had one radioactive core on them. So they could have put together like one real radioactive strike. So they dropped 2 of these bombs. They just did not have the radioactive core in them, but they have all the explosives and all the other stuff on them. And they're somewhere off the coast of Jersey. Maybe we need to get the drones out there and do a little expedition. I'm gonna do all kinds of stuff up here looking. Now I think about it, but it says that 2 of the 3 bombs that they dropped were off the coast of Cape May in the Atlantic Ocean. So we know almost exactly where to go. We go right off Cape May, the beach there. Start looking. It's in that region where they're at. Metal detectors, LiDAR, drones equipped with certain stuff. If you want to go looking for a bomb, I'd much rather go looking for a second ship that maybe had treasure on it. But and I have. We've gone down there off Holton Beach and other places, and we found sunken stuff that sticks up out of the water like only when the tide's low. It's pretty cool. But anyhow, if you did not know, I thought that was a fun fact. With all this talk about nuclear, this and that, yeah, well, a couple bombs sitting off Cape May somewhere. So this brings me to the real deal on the nuclear stuff. If you go over to the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission and their website, they release reports that talk about and confirm situations where radioactive material is either loose, dispersed, lost, a bunch of different stuff dealing with nuclear stuff. So what we come to find out is that they've dropped a bunch of alerts. And they on here, let me see here. I've got the page right here, actually, right behind it. Right here. I got the real deal right here. New Jersey, NG-RAD Protection and Rail Prevention Program. Notification date went out on the 5th. And this says, out of New Jersey, that what they had here is the following information provided by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection sent out in an email. The licensee reported to NJDEP on December 3rd that a GE 68-pin source that they sent for disposal had been lost in transit on December 2nd. The source of an Eckhart and Ziegler model HEGL-0132, which I'll show you in a second, with the current approximate activity of 0.267 MCI. The shipping container arrived at its destination, damaged and empty. The licensee had filed a claim with the shipper. If the source is not located within 30 days, the licensee will follow up with a full written report to include the root cause and corrective actions. This is reportable under 10 CFR 22201. This is material containing less than Cat 3 level of radioactive material that is believed to be in this device. Let me go to the next one. This is the exact model of the device. Okay, right there. Now, right before it, it's something like 62 pins. I don't know if it was like 62 of these. Each one's a pin. But that's what it said, 62 pins. And then it went on to say with the model numbers of this right here. So this is what it was. It's these things. You know, it doesn't matter what radioactive material comes in. If, you know, wrong person, bad situation, gets their hands on it, they can extract it or they can try to make a dirty bomb or a device out of it or whatnot. But I'm just saying this is what went missing. Wanted to show you guys. This is exactly what it was. And what did Mayorkas say earlier? What do they ultimately want in the end? Even if it's fallen, aliens, whatever they want to say, whatever. Disclosure, whatever ends up happening here. If they are sniffing for nuclear stuff, whatever. They want more control. And they want it expanded. It's exactly what he said. Well, it's just in time for the reauthorization of an Orwellian law that I tweeted out as well. And this is what he's talking about. There's like 4 days left. After here in just 14 minutes, there's going to be like 3 days left. It expires. What is about to happen in the coming days? This is about to expire. Like, maybe they've scared everybody enough now to like get this pushed through. But I mean, could they have just got to push through anyway? Maybe not. This new HR 8610 is the Counter UAS Authority Security Safety and Reauthorization Act of 2024. Okay, there's all kinds of different acts out there, but this one expires December 20th, and like I said, just a few days away. What do they got up their sleeve? Well, we're in one of them crazy little windows, a window within a window, if you will, of craziness. And that's what we're at. Right here, this one, look what I can't even say the name. FF. Smells like a FF. And then this one, they're basically saying there's two outcomes. They're speculating here. That they're looking for more aggressive restrictions on civilian drones, which makes no sense to me. What are they trying to hide? More restrictions on civilian drones? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, to go through all this for that? It seems like it's way... And what about the disclosure factor? I'm trying to check off everything here, make sure it fits. Second one is a drone attack that is blamed on a foreign government. Again, that means they would have lied boldly to our faces. This person right here with this assessment is completely missing the disclosure part. They're like completely missing it. It's a huge factor. The disclosure factor is as Greer said, going to be the biggest potential event in human history. Which is not good. This is going to be the fallen coming out of the shadows. Do you understand what this is? These evil SOBs are going to be showing themselves for the first time. It's going to be just like Trudeau right here, like jumping out of the shadows. The reptilian, whatever they're about to show. Whatever, different breeds, different levels of life forms, all of it. It's all true and real. There is all kinds of different levels. There was different breeds and levels of giants, just as there are of us. Look how many different shapes, sizes, colors, backgrounds, and religions we come in here. Yeah, so I think there's vast life. But, all right. I've spent a good chunk of time on that, and I think that in the end, hopefully, you get the picture here. There's something huge going on with these. Hopefully, you don't lose sight of, like I said earlier, the world you live in, how it's ran. Don't fall back asleep. Realize that you are living in a world where there's tricksters on the other side of the air that you breathe. Unfortunately, we wrestle not against flesh, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. See how it bleeds through all over? I'm telling you, it's there. They told you right there, even in that passage right there. They told you. See, didn't even all the other stuff that was hidden and removed that told you earlier. Well, they just told you right there in that one passage, right there. I just basically expanded on it for you and gave you the broader picture. Trudeau, he's one of them, an elite establishment dude. But look, when they wear out their time, they'll replace him, and it looks like he's worn it out. People are sick of him, even some of his own people around him. And he is talking about resigning. So get him out of here. Get him out of here. And, I don't know. Hopefully his replacement's not any worse, but I'm gonna say. Hey, much love, Diane. And thank you for the coffees. All appreciated to the fullest. I hope he does get out of here. I'm going to have to cut through some of these here because I look down, we're 10 till midnight. Let me get to... I'll take us out to... here. Russia, give an update on Syria and the whole thing going on with Ukraine real quick. Since a major war front and everything going down out there. Russia's advancing on the city of Pokrovsk, and they could potentially take this. Since no one wants to talk, any true peace, they're advancing. And they're continuing to do so. So, the Biden administration is auctioning off pieces of the border wall before Trump takes in office, which is ridiculous. It's like treasonous. Treasonous. Ridiculous. They're doing it. And an update here in the end on Diddy. This will be the last story. We've got Daniel Baldwin, of the Baldwins, which I don't trust all the way at all, coming out of Hollywood. And anything's possible here. But this is what he's saying. He's saying that there's bidding wars. He's got it. It's just so elaborate in the way that he says it and all this, and the way it's being pushed. He's saying there's bidding wars in Hollywood over Diddy's blackmail sex tapes. And as the headline here says, actor Daniel Baldwin has made extraordinary claims that Hollywood stars are involved in bidding wars to prevent copies of blackmail sex tapes from getting out in the open, falling into the wrong hands. He went on Patrick Bet David's podcast, PBD, and was saying all this. And much love, thank you, Soul Foundry, for the coffee. He was making these statements, saying that this is what was happening. And it's like, hold on a second. Hold on. I reckon that anyone that was there and had a camera at any time in the past could have filmed anything. But from what I've seen, Diddy would make people cough up their phones and sign affidavits and all this other stuff. Like, if somebody else had some kind of footage, then I guess that's a separate thing. But I'm talking like, hold on a second. When you're talking about the real deal, good the freak off videos, the feds got that. They got all the stuff. They got all the tapes, from all the cameras where they were hitting. They got absolutely everything. They tore it all up. They got everything. They got every single thing. So it's like, I guess my thing is, how did they get it from the feds? How is there bidding wars on the juicy tape, the good tapes? How'd they get it from the feds? The feds is sliding it to them like this. Like saying he's seen some of this stuff. Like, man, like, I mean, anything's possible from like third party, but I'm talking like, it makes it seem like it's over the ones out of the rooms, out of the house, out of the mansion and everything, like, because, I mean, how does anybody get that from the feds? It's my big question. Just to go make money. How come the feds, if that's the case, if the feds knew that there was evidence out there and if there's other videotapes, wouldn't they want that? So he's saying that there's other tapes floating around here. It seems to me that they would be scooping all that up. They would scoop it up as evidence for sure. So I don't know. I don't know. Thank you, Barb. Yeah. Well, that brings me to the close of this one. I want to thank everybody for joining once again. Man, long one tonight, but we had a lot to cover. And I hope that, especially the knowledge with the fallen and where this is all going, that it sticks and people understand what this is we're up against. Knowing is half the battle. And, yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing, supporting the channel, for always being there. Thank you for fighting the good fight. It's not just from me, but from someone else on a higher perch. And thanks all of you that walk this out the right way. You're about to see tests and tribulations like you've never seen before, thrown at you from different ways and angles. This will be a test of faith. Endurance is key. Faith is key. You must believe or be left behind. I guess this is why I was told shape up and ship out over and over and over again. You know the deal. If the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you next time for Underground World News Live, right here. Much love. God bless all of y'all.